Cool? Alright, this next problem reminds you about the difference between a diameter and a radius. The diameter goes all the way across the pond, the radius goes halfway across the pond. So, this is reminding us that the diameter goes all the way across. The radius goes halfway across. Now, chord we hardly ever talk about, but chord goes across but doesn't go through the middle. It kind of skips the middle. So, in this problem, it looks super hard, but it's not. It says, name the radius. What would the radius be? MJ. So you can name it MJ or you can name it JM. It doesn't matter. So my radius is going to go halfway across. My next question says, name the diameter. Who? Who? KL or LK? We good? Now, the chord is the one that just totally skips the middle of the circle.
N-O.
N-O or O-N. So that would be my chord. Now, the last question is making sure you know how a radius and a diameter relate. So the last question says, if JM is 6, what is KL? So if halfway across the pond is 6 miles, what is all the way across the pond? 12 miles.
Good run.
And if I said if all the way across the pond was 20 miles, what's halfway across the pond?
10.
10. That's all they want you to realize. That if I give you the radius, you double it to get the diameter. If I give you the diameter, you take half to get the radius. So it looks a lot harder than it is. Alright. I want to show you this next one. I'm going to skip to another one because this one gives people a fit. And it's very similar to one that we've just done. Right here. Has anybody done this one yet?
No.
This is just like this one almost. Where you see two shapes. What shapes do you see? Almost. Hold on, let me cut it. All right. At the park, there is a pool that is shaped like a circle. So here's our pool, y'all. There's our pool. And a ring-shaped path goes around the pool. These are just the radiuses. This is the radius for that pool, and this is the radius for that pool. So my two shapes are actually circles. I have a big circle and I have a little circle, and they just happen to give you the radius on the picture. So let me show you. It's like two cookie cutters. You have the outside cookie cutter, and then you have the inside cookie cutter, and if you remove the inside cookie, do you see that you make like a donut? So if we made old school donuts, we could take a big cookie cutter and then a little cookie cutter and remove the donut hole, and we would be left with a donut. So we're going to take the outside circle and the inside circle, and we're going to subtract them. We're not going to add them, because if we added them, we would be making like a Santa Claus. snowman. That would be adding the two circles. We're subtracting the two circles. So we're going to do just like we did a minute ago with the rectangle and the triangle. We're going to take the outside circle minus the inside circle. Now, they want us to do the area. So we go to our formula sheet and we look under the area. Make it bigger so you can see it. Right here I see circles and I see area. So I'm going to go to the area of a circle because they told me they wanted me to do the area of a circle. So there's my area formula, pi r squared. And I'm going to do it again right there. So I'm going to do pi r squared minus pi r squared. So that's 3.14 times something squared and 3.14 times something squared. Now, my outside circle. What's the radius of the outside circle? 15. What's the radius of the inside circle? 11. And I'm going to subtract those two things. So in my calculator, I'm going to not do that. I'm going to do 3.14 times 15 to the second, 3.14 times 11 to the second, and I'm going to subtract those two answers. Pull that down. So we have 706.5 minus 379.94 equals 326.56. Now, divide by what's in the paragraph. The number in the paragraph keeps changing in every problem, but you're going to divide by the number in the paragraph. I'm going to come over here and I'm going to divide by the number in the paragraph. Now, here is where everybody's going to screw up. I'm going to write it in the color I haven't used. Round up. No matter what, you're going to round up. So my answer is going to be 55. Even though mathematically it shouldn't round up. But we're asking how many gallons of material do we need? So if y'all need 54.4 gallons and you buy 54 gallons, you don't have enough to finish the job. You got to buy an extra gallon and have some left over. So we've got to round up to make sure that we have enough material. So you're going to round up no matter what. So even if it was 54.1, you're still going to go to 55. 54.01, you're still going to go to 55. Okay? Now I have two more of those that I want you to see because there's 3 different types that they give you and they gradually get harder. So the next one's going to look something like this. You have an outside circle, you have an inside circle, you have a paragraph with a number. Now, your outside circle is going to look like this, and it's going to have a number like 40. Your inside circle is going to look like this, and it's going to have a number like 10. So we're going to do the same process. We're going to take the outside circle minus the inside circle. So we're going to do pi r squared minus pi r squared. So it's going to be 3.14 times something squared minus 3.14 times something squared. So what is my radius of my outside circle?
4.
This time I gave you the diameter of the circle. I need to know the radius of the circle, which is going to be 20. Now, what is going to be my radius of the inside circle?
That 20 come from half of?
Okay, let me show you this first one. Let me go back to this one. For the outside, for the blue circle, do you see that I gave you the radius? And for the red circle, do you see that I gave you the radius? That's why we just use those numbers. Radius is halfway across. Now, if we scroll down, for this one, the outside circle, I didn't give you the radius. For the outside circle, I told you that the diameter was 40. But I need to know the radius. So if the diameter of the pool is 40, the radius is going to be 20. They'll bust you every time. Now, the inside pool is here. I told you that the inside circle has a diameter of 10. I need to know the radius of that inside circle. 5. So, we'll get the first answer, we'll get the second answer, then we'll get that answer. We'll divide by the number in the paragraph, and then we're going to round up no matter what. You with me? Got it?
Gotcha.
All right, there's one more I want you to see. Same kind of problem. So, I'm telling you that the pool on the inside has a radius of 9. And I'm telling you that the sidewalk that goes around the pool has a width of 5. Okay? So, I'm going to do pi r squared of the outside minus pi r squared of the inside. Let's start with the inside. That's going to be 3.14 times what squared? Who? 9. Do you see that's 9? For the inside. Now, for this one, it's going to be 3.14 times what squared?
2.5.
Love you, Randy. Now, that 5 is telling me that no matter where I come around here, it's going to be 5. So, if I take that 5 and pull it over here, the outside circle's radius goes from here to here. Let me draw. So, here is my outside circle. Do you agree that the radius of the outside circle goes from here to here? Yay? Now, we already know that this is 9. How long is this? 5. So when you add those two together, that gives me a total radius of 14. You subtract those two, divide by 3, and then round your answer up no matter what. Yeah.
That number 3, you just put that in.
Whatever the number is in the paragraph. Because look right here, there's going to be a paragraph below and there's going to be a number in that paragraph. And that number is going to change. But once you subtract, you're going to divide by whatever number is in that paragraph. I was just too lazy to write a paragraph. Ahmed, do you have a question?
I'll ask when you had got that 9
Oh,
from. That's the radius of the little circle.
that's the radius of the little circle. So 9 is the radius of this baby circle. And 14 is the radius of the big circle, which I got from 9 plus 5. This one's tough. Now, all we have left, when we come back, I have 4 pages, and it's going to be, volume, and a little bit of, indirect measure, which we've kind of really gone over. It's just a little bit of loose ends I wanna do. So when we get back, the 18th, we don't have class next week. When we get back the 18th, we're gonna start talking a little bit about this, but then we're gonna go into King Henry died by drinking chocolate milk. We're gonna go into, all the measurements, all the somethings, all of that stuff. Now, I'm not going anywhere on my spring break. My husband's working, my child's in school, so I'm home. So if you need me to answer anything, text me, email me, if you're working. If you're not in at least module 3, you need to be working. This is a time to play catch up. I have emailed y'all and let you know when the hub will be open over the break. Okay, we need to be playing catch up. 75% by the end of this month is where we need to be. Or higher. Some of y'all could use this week to get done to 100% and don't have to worry about me anymore. Whatever. All right, get out. I'll see you downstairs.